across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
And time is whizzing by already. It's already 8:15, so let me get my first guest up and get into this, because the family of a man who died after being taken into custody have described a behind-the-scenes documentary about Bedfordshire Police as inappropriate. Leon Briggs, who was 39 and from Luton, died in hospital last November after being held over concerns about his behaviour. Channel 4's 24 Hours in Police Custody programme, which airs tomorrow night, filmed officers in their daily work in the months following Leon's death. Here's a taster of the programme.
Time of arrest, please.
6:35.
And what was the offence?
Conspiracy to murder.
Circumstances, please.
Briefly, I've got information received to suggest that he's involved in a conspiracy to murder of Atif Ali on and before the 20th of May 2013.
Channel 4, their 24 Hours in Police Custody, which is on tomorrow. Now, Liberty Louise is from the Justice4Leon campaign, and we'll describe exactly what that is in a second. Good evening, Liberty Louise. Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Hello?
Ah, there you are. Yes, I can. How are you doing?
Not too bad, thank you.
I think that was my fault, actually, so I apologise. You faded up on the wrong fade, and good thing we've got you now. So we will talk about Justice4Leon and exactly what that campaign is, but Leon Briggs died in November last year. How did you know Leon?
Well, a few of us went to school with him, so we knew him for the whole of our high school years. And we kind of knew what character he was, etc. So when we found out he had died in police custody, there were certain questions raised, and that's where the campaign's led. We knew he wouldn't have put himself in that position in terms of who he was as a person. So at the end of the day, we just want to get justice. Whoever's accountable. So
absolutely, and we must remember that an investigation into that is still going on, and officers have been suspended. So did you keep in contact with Leon after you guys left school?
Yeah. I mean, it was only like via Facebook, and often I'd see him and he'd ask me how I was, I'd ask him how he was, that kind of thing. So it was only brief, but it's not actually the point, the relationship. The fact is, somebody within the Luton community that we all knew, that some of us knew, whether you know somebody or not, if somebody dies in your community under them circumstances, the community needs to ask questions.
Oh, absolutely. And I wasn't asking about your relationship, to say this is why you're involved. I just wanted to know. It's probably a difficult question to ask, but of the years you've known Leon, what's the one sort of memory or kind of thing he said or thing he did that kind of makes you, on a day just kind of smile and say, that sums up Leon to a T?
Well, I remember being at a bus stop once and Leon was there, and I was down for whatever reason, and he said, "Come on, girl, he was quite a positive person. Didn't like seeing other people unhappy, and he had a kind nature. He was a very kind person, so."
Okay, and so Justice4Leon, as you mentioned, was set up then because you say, had it not been Leon, just anyone in your community that dies under such circumstances, you want to see justice done. So what is your main gripes with this documentary, this Channel 4 documentary, which is all about behind the scenes with the police? Why are you so against it?
Right, it's for one, it's on the 4th of February, the 3-month vigil. The producers from Garden Productions, they came to apparently evaluate public opinion. So we were allowed the town hall to speak about the campaign, Leon's Law, etc. And they categorically stated outside Luton Police Station after that it would not be showed until next year. Because of the sensitivity, because of the timing, and everything else. So point 1, lied to. Point 2, not listened to, because there was some of Leon's family there was the community there was the campaign there, even the council said no, they didn't want it to happen.
I'm guessing we're going to have to take your word for it, Liberty Louise, because we weren't there. So they promised you it would be shown in 2015, and you think that would have been long enough for the investigation to end and for the family to have closure. That's kind of what you're most unhappy with.
Because if you look at the timing, I mean, already we've had this big hoo-ha over Ollie Martins. Now we've got something else about the TV programme. Can we just get to the real issue of why Leon died in police custody, please? Because it seems to me that it's a smokescreen, one smokescreen after another smokescreen. I don't think the family are actually worried about Ollie Martins, or even maybe they haven't seen the TV programme, so we can't comment on the content. But for one, and I want to pick up a few issues with what Colette Paul said.
Okay, I mean, we're going to hear from Colette Paul in a second. Okay, I mean, we're going to hear from Colette in a second, so if I can just... the documentary won't actually include anything about Leon's death.
No, that's convenient for the police, isn't it? Why not? Why wouldn't it show that?
Well, I mean, there's an ongoing investigation, which I guess is the whole reason why nothing is being made public until someone comes to a conclusion.
But it's a fact that there was a death in custody. There's no issue about whether there was a death in custody.
Yes, it's just who's responsible.
So, you've got the vigil outside, you've got a big vigil. I guarantee none of that will be filmed. That is something that happened real. That is something that happened in Luton, at Luton Police Station, and I agree there's an ongoing investigation that I can't comment on, the family can't comment on, nobody can comment on. But the fact is, somebody died in Luton Police Station, and there's still no answers. Okay, we can surmise all we like. But given that there's been no convictions for that amount of time on any death in custody, we have to ask these questions. And I'm looking at the PR ploy of the whole fact. Ollie Martins getting to the CPS, nothing happened. We all knew it wouldn't happen, but it created press attention, where the press attention needs to be on why Leon died in custody. That's where it needs to be focused. So, unless people are prepared to have an open public dialogue and speak about these issues, we just see all these things as PR stunts.
Yeah,
that's how it's coming across.
I get your passion and I get your anger as well. Now, you mentioned there was a few things. Colette Paul, who we should probably mention, is Chief of Bedfordshire Police. You said there was a few things like you kind of wanted to... hit back at what she's had to say. So here's a little bit of Colette Paul then, because she spoke to Neil Bradford, one of our reporters, this week about your concerns. Have a listen, Liberty. This is what Colette Paul had to say.
I had to think very, very, very carefully about that. Obviously, we got involved in the programme well before the tragic death of Leon Briggs, well before that. So I had to reconsider it. But what I did do, I took absolute steps and worked with the production company and got a legal agreement with them that we wouldn't cover anything that had anything to do or links to Leon Briggs' case, and also to another case, actually, another outstanding case. So I got that written in the legal agreement and made sure that that was actually right. I've also made sure that the programme doesn't go out at any time that's an anniversary for Leon Briggs, anniversary of the case, which is obviously in November. So I was very, very keen to be as sensitive as I can, but I also believed it was absolutely right to show the public what we do in Luton. So.
Is it not arrogant, though, to put out a programme like this or take part in a programme like this when your force is subject to an investigation by the IPCC?
No, it's not arrogant, at all. Obviously, there's an ongoing investigation which we're fully cooperating with, but I have to think beyond just this investigation. There are a lot of policing issues, that take place, and I want the public to see it and make up their own mind.
Did you consider putting this programme then?
Of course I did. Of course I did. When that happened, that was a real consideration, and I did think really carefully about it.
So, Liberty, Louise there from Justice4Leon Campaign. You was listening to that. Thoughts immediately then?
Okay, there's going to be 18 episodes. One of them episodes is going to fall on November the 3rd, day before Leon, the 1 year anniversary where he died last year. So she's talking about timing. That just smacks it right out of the window for me.
Okay.
So are they not going to show that on the Monday?
I'm not privy to that information, but I mean...
But it's just a theatrical, theoretical question.
Yeah.
If that is a real concern, the timing, are you going to pull the plug on that day? No, they're not. No, they're not. And she mentioned a legal agreement. Now, I wonder who initiated that. Was that the police that initiated that legal agreement and said to the production company, oh yeah, we'll do it with you as long as you don't show anything about, like, outside the vigil or anything like that. And I think what it doesn't encompass everything that has happened this year.
Yeah.
At Luton Police Station.
Now, let's just say that the police force, and we know that there's an ongoing investigation, but Luton Police Force probably does a lot of good, and I'm not trying to downplay what happened to Leon, and it's an absolute tragedy and a travesty, and the family needs a conclusion, and you guys need a conclusion. But should the rest of Luton not know what else their police force does and the good that they do?
No one's saying, and we have never said that all police are bad, but to actually stand there and believe there isn't an inherent culture within the police force that do abuse their positions is, I don't know how much research people have to do to convince people that is something that happens on a daily basis. And it's one thing. Okay, it would be fine. It would be fine if it was actually unedited, okay, and you could see everything that was happening, okay. We've heard that the police have had no involvement with the editing procedures, which I don't believe for 1 minute.
But you couldn't have a live police documentary for obviously legal reasons, and I guess that's why it's pre-recorded. Sammy, will you be watching at all tomorrow?
Will I be watching?
Yeah.
All right, of course I'll be watching. And that's the thing. None of us have seen this. And I think Colette Paul, okay, I think she should have given the family a private viewing first, just for them to, have some sort of input. Okay, there isn't going to be anything about Leon. And she said she can't talk to the IPCC because it's an investigation. How about just forwarding a letter? How about just having that?
Yeah, you're talking about courtesy, aren't you? Yeah.
Yes, I'm talking about courtesy, absolutely. And if there is none of that, the talk about getting the faith and confidence back in the community, it's never going to work because, again, it's not us saying it's us against them. They are making manoeuvres to make sure that that's the way it is. And, the community aren't going to stand for that forever.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you guys are going to, fight this all the way. So, what is the latest then on this investigation? How often are you guys giving updates?
Well, obviously, we know when inquest dates are. We've got the 1-year anniversary happening on November the 4th. We'd like the community to come down. I put a request in, and so did Leon's mother, for a plaque to be placed at the police station. The council have got no issues at all with us doing that. And obviously I have to talk to the police about, they want to know about the wording, that kind of thing. So far, but apparently it's Chief Constable Colette Paul that has the final say-so. So we'll see what happens. Watch this space.
It sounds like, in the future we'll definitely be talking to you a bit more. And it sounds like it would make a very interesting debate if we could have had Colette Paul on the phone as well. So, I mean, are you guys going to, make any complaints to the TV watchdog Ofcom, or is there plans to, episode 1 might go out, but you might try and stop, like you mentioned, the others closer to the anniversary going out?
Well, I've put it out there now that that's, that she Colette Paul did say about timing.
Yeah.
So, why are you doing it the day before? If it can't... Well, can you show that you mean what you say then? Do you know what I mean? You can't say, we considered the timing and the sensitivity, and then go and put something on that the next day the family have got to think about what happened a year ago.
Absolutely. So many questions, Liberty Louise, and I do hope that you get answers for all of them. Thank you very much. 8:30, Nestor McGregor on 3 Counties Radio. That was Liberty Louise from Justice4Leon Campaign. They're angry that a documentary will be on Channel 4 tomorrow. It's going to be called 24 Hours in Police Custody. And it's basically behind the scenes, 24 hours with Bedfordshire Police. But they're angry that it's going to go out because there's still an investigation going on into what caused the death of Leon Briggs, who was 39 and from Luton. They say the timing is insensitive and inappropriate. We will, of course, keep you updated as and when we do get a result of that IPCC investigation. Nestor McGregor, 3 Counties Radio. died in hospital last November after being held over concerns about his behaviour. Channel 4's 24 Hours in Police Custody programme, which airs tomorrow night, filmed officers in their daily work in the months following Leon's death. Here's a taster of the programme.
Time of arrest, please.
6:35.
And what's the offence?
Conspiracy to murder.
Circumstances, please.
Briefly.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello?
Ah, there you are. Yes, I can. How are you doing?
Not too bad, thank you.
I think that was my fault, actually, so I apologise. You faded up on the wrong fade, and good thing we've got you now. So we will talk about Justice4Leon and exactly what that campaign is, but Leon Briggs died in November last year. How did you know Leon?
Well, a few of us went to school with him, so we knew him for the whole of our high school years. And we kind of knew what character he was, etc. So when we found out he had died in police custody, there were certain questions raised, and that's where the campaign's led. We knew he wouldn't have put himself in that position in terms of who he was as a person. So at the end of the day, we just want to get justice.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
And time is whizzing by already. It's already 8:15, so let me get my first guest up and get into this, because the family of a man who died after being taken into custody have described a behind-the-scenes documentary about Bedfordshire Police as inappropriate. Leon Briggs, who was 39 and from Luton...
I've got information received to suggest that he's involved in a conspiracy to murder of Atif Ali on and before the 20th of May 2013.
Channel 4, their 24 Hours in Police Custody, which is on tomorrow. Now, Liberty Louise is from the Justice4Leon campaign, and we'll describe exactly what that is in a second. Good evening, Liberty Louise. Hello?